السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. We've been discussing about guidance. We talked about universal guidance where everyone is included, every creation, okay, whatever size, shape or form it's in, there's a guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for its survival, for its propagation, its existence and its progression. So that is universal guidance, and everything is included in that, okay, and that verse from Surah Taha, okay, that was the answer of Prophet Musa ala nabiyuna alayhi salam, okay, when discussing with Fir'aun. Rabbana alladhi ata kulla shay'in thumma hada, okay. So everything, Shay includes everything, okay. There is nothing in existence that's not guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay. People have tried to say that the guidance is only for living things, okay. It's questionable. How about non-living things that you consider non-living? Are they non-living to begin with? Okay. As the advances in technology tell us, okay, that nothing is non-living basically, okay. Whatever form it is there, okay, and every atom has electrons and protons. Aren't electrons continuously in a spin? Now we come across other particles like positron, for example, and so on, so many particles and all of them are spinning, okay. You may disregard their spin, okay, but Allah as a supreme creator, okay, has programmed them into that, okay, and that is guidance, okay, guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay. So that's universal guidance where everyone is included. Then the prophetic guidance, okay, where the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come, okay, and they guide humanity in this case, okay, so that a society is established based on truth and justice, okay, equal rights, okay, equal opportunities, okay, and non-discrimination. Remember, the prophetic message has never been the message of discrimination, okay. Always equity, equality and justice. Your rights are regarded, okay, and no one is being given a superiority over anyone else as far as the message is concerned. Okay. So that is prophetic guidance, okay, and this prophetic guidance is for human beings and also jinn, okay. Why? Because Quran talks about Jinnat, okay. In Surah Rahman, the verse is constant. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. These two, okay. So guidance is for them also. A question arises, okay. Did they have a different prophet, okay, than our prophet, our system of prophets, which is from Adam to Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, okay? Or these same prophets, okay, were also their guides, okay? People have ventured into it, and I'm not going to go in details into it, but I'll tell you something. As far as the last prophet is concerned, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, okay, he is the universal prophet, He is the universal prophet, okay? Which means he is guide for everyone. Okay? Quran says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Whatever is included in Alameen, okay, he is the mercy for all of them. And guidance is one of the best forms of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which not only assures goodness, virtue in this world, okay, but also assures, okay, the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next. Okay. So, yeah. So that's prophetic guidance. Okay. That is the last week's lecture. Okay. I think, did we conclude it or we are still going on with it?
So we concluded saying that the belief is absolute, belief in absoluteness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Included that. And finality of the last prophet.
Okay.
And also we concluded about the justice.
Okay.
We spoke about that.
Okay.
Ulama is given in the Quran.
Yeah. A'immatan yahduna. Yeah. ثم جعلنا هم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا. This verse is in Anbiya, verse number 73, Surah number 21. Okay. So yes. Okay. So in the prophetic guidance, the guidance does not end with the prophets. Our prophet is the last prophet. The prophethood has ended. Okay. But the message continues. And that message is continued by Aimma, the guides, who are appointed by the Prophet okay? Of course, through the Prophet from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Those verses in the Quran that talk about exalted guidance. Okay? Exalted guidance. What is exalted guidance? Okay? This terminology does not exist in English, and I'm just, showing you that. Okay? Exalted guidance. When you are on the right path. Raghib Isfahani has not coined any Arabic word for it. Okay? He says that when people are already guided, okay, because of their eagerness to go higher, because of their desire to go higher, because of their want to go higher, okay, a special mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows them the way, and that's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاللَّهُ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ إِلَىٰ صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Okay. Surah Nur, okay, 24 Surah of Quran, okay, verse number 46. Okay. This is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has seen someone struggling, trying, okay. So his mercy dawns on the person, okay, and he sees a clearer path, for example, okay, and that path leads him to exalted status, okay. And it is said very clearly in Surah Ankabut, okay. Surah Ankabut, 29th Surah of Quran, verse number 69. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سَبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Okay. Those who strive, those who struggle. Okay. Fina, we will have translated, in our way, which is probably the most appropriate translation. Okay. Fina لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سَبُلَنَا. Okay. We definitely guide them. That noon, lam before that noon, okay, shows definition of it. لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ. Okay. Nahdi is to guide, we guide. Okay. Lam there, surely we guide. Okay. لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سَبُلَنَا. We guide them to our path. Okay. And that path is Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سَبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا مَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. In us. Okay. Yeah. So, it is towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it cannot be in the personalities, we can talk about, but as far as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing is within him, okay. It is towards him, okay. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا, those who struggle towards us, okay. لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا, okay. We guide them, okay, to the path, and the path is Sirat al-Mustaqim, okay. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to this also in Surah Hajj, 22nd Surah of Quran. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَهَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِلَى صِرَاطِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. And verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides those who are mu'mineen towards Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay? The first stage is supposed to accept the faith, which is La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Okay? And to acknowledge that the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the last message, perfect message, and that He would not refer to anything else after that message as binding, okay? That's it. Okay? But, okay, for a higher level, okay, there's something else, and that is, to seek that divine mercy, okay, that would raise you to status highest. Raghib Isfahani has mentioned these various stages, If you look at Hidayah in his, book, okay, you'll find that under Hidayah, okay. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make sure that you realize that the guidance, okay, would come after your struggle. Okay. The message is being delivered. Okay. The basic message is there. Okay. A higher level of message requires something on your part. The first thing that requires on your part is to be just. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Zalimeen would never get the guidance. We have discussed that in the few sessions earlier. Okay. So, he says it clearly, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ. Allah has instructed you, commanded you. Okay, yes. So, the command is there. بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ. Not only being just, okay, but doing higher than just. Ihsan is things higher than that. That's why in that particular ayah, okay, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. समझ में आई आपकी बात? ठीक है, अगर एहसान नहीं है, ठीक है, तो बात सिर्फ अदल की नहीं है, अदल तो है ही है, ठीक है, उसके साथ एहसान भी है. इन्न अल्लाह यामुरु बिल अदल वल इहसान व ईताइ ज़िल कुर्बा व यनहा अनिल फ़हशाइ वल मुनकर यअज़ुकुम लअल्लकुम. That's Surah Nahl, verse number 90, and similarly in Surah Ma'idah, verse number 8. Okay. And this gives you a higher standard. لا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى إن الله خبير بما تعملون. Okay. Let not the hatred of others incite you not to act equitably. Depart from justice. Be just, and that is the closest to piety. Okay. Without justice, there is no piety. Okay. People have translated this, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنَ قَوْمٍ. Okay. Let not the hatred of others towards you. That towards you is just adding in the parenthesis. No, okay. It says hatred. Okay. Whether the hatred is the result of their hating you, for example, okay. That hatred is the result of their doing things that are against you, for example, okay. The hatred because they are your opponents, the hatred because they are your enemies, whatever it is, okay. It should not take you away from the path of justice. اعدلوا أو أقربوا للتقوى. This is Surah Maida. Okay, that Sirat al-Mustaqim? Okay. That was Surah Hajj? No. Okay. Let me give you the exact. Okay. What was the Surah Baqarah? Wallahu yahdi man yasha ila siratin mustaqim. Yeah, it should be somewhere here. Yeah. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes sure that you are guided. Okay. He sends you His messenger. You accept, but if you want to go to a higher level, the first thing you must do is adl, justice. The second, you have to return the amana to those who own it. Okay. Surah Nisa. إن الله يأمركم أن تؤدوا الأمانات إلى أهلها. Returning the amanat. And yes, Surah Hajj. وإن الله لهادي الذين آمنوا إلى صراط مستقيم. That was Surah Hajj, verse number 54. Okay. In Surah Hadid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about a balance, mizan. لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان. Mizan is the balance. Okay? And the balance encompasses both justice and returning the trusts, amanat. They are together. As a matter of fact, Mizan encompasses the whole ideology of Islam. Okay. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides those to a higher level who are yearning. And Quran reminds us that Allah has not created this universe in vain. Okay. In many verses of Quran, we have been told that after our death, will be brought back to life. Okay. Which means death is not our end. In Surah Rum, 30th Surah of Quran, verse number 40, Allahu alladhi khalaqakum. Allah is the one who has created you. Simple. Summa razaqakum, and then He has provided sustenance, rizq. Summa yumitukum, and then He kills you. Summa yuhyikum, and then He's going to bring you back to life. All this is Allah's, okay? Allahu alladhi, Allah is the one. Allahu alladhi khalaqakum, thumma razaqakum, thumma yumitukum, thumma yuhyikum. He is the one who has created. He is the one who sustains. He is the one who takes life away from you, and He is the one who brings you back to life. Okay? So now, you are going to be back to life, okay? And that life would depend on your current life here. Okay. So for you to reach a higher status, okay, there is a struggle, okay, and that struggle, okay, if initiated by you, okay, would lead you to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is exalted. A mercy that is universal is different, and a mercy that's exalted is different. Okay? For that, you will have to struggle, and if you don't struggle, you are not getting it. Rahman is universal, and Rahim is for those who submit to Him. Yes. Quran says, to the Prophet ﷺ, in Surah Mu'minun, 23rd Surah of Quran, verse number 73. وَإِنَّكَ لَتُوهُمْ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. You are the one who guides them, who calls them towards Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay. The call is from the Prophet ﷺ, okay, and that call is towards that right path. That's why many times when we are reciting Surah Al-Hamd, okay, people translate it slightly differently. Okay. When we say Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim, okay, people translate as, Wallah, keep us on the right path. Okay. They fail to realize that the right path is a very long path. Okay. And that you need constant guidance, not only to stay there, but to progress further. Make it, and it should, but that's the failure to understand, the uniqueness of the words that have been put there. Okay? Wallahi, every single word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in Quran is uniquely put. इसके अंदर कोई रद्द बदल हो ही नहीं सकता. जिस तरह रखा गया, इस तरह रखा गया. That's why the Arabs, who were linguists at that time, realized Quran as a miracle, and they were unable to bring anything comparable to Quran, even one sentence. Okay. And today, for those who go for Arabic as a language, the higher state, they regard Quran as a miracle of the language. Okay. No other book is regarded that, and of course followed by Najul Balagha, okay, which also comes from the same resource as Quran, no doubt about it. Okay. In Surah Shura, 42nd Surah of Quran, verse number 52. وَإِنَّكَ تَهْدِي إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Again referring to the Prophet ﷺ, that you are the one who guides towards Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay. And then Sirat al-Mustaqim is defined in the next verse, which is verse number 53. Same surah, verse number 53. Okay. Sirat al-Allah alladhi lahu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ard. And that is the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for whom there is everything in existence, whether in the skies or the earth. Then the Prophet ﷺ has also been told, إِنَّكَ لَا صِرَاطَ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. You are the one who are on the right path. Okay. Surah Zukhruf, 43rd Surah of Quran, verse number 43. 43. Surah 43, verse number 43. In Surah Fatah, 19th Surah of Quran. Okay. Second verse. وَيُتِمُّ نِعْمَةَ عَلَيْكَ وَيَهْدِيكَ صِرَاطًا مُسْتَقِيمًا. To the Prophet once again. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would complete His blessings on you, and guiding you towards the right path. Okay. In the same surah, again Sirat al-Mustaqim is mentioned. Surah Fath is the 48th Surah of Quran. The earlier verse was number 2. The next verse is number 20. Sirat al-Mustaqim is also referred to Sirat al-Aziz al-Hamid. Surah Sabah, 34th Surah of Quran, verse number 6. هو الحق ومن يهدي إلى صراط العزيز الحميد. Surah Sabah, 34th Surah of Quran, verse number 6. هو الحق ويهدي إلى صراط العزيز الحميد. And of course, you know Surah Yasin, 36th Surah of Quran, verse number 4. إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم. Okay. In some of the surahs, the prophets refer to this, okay? Because each prophet in his times is leading to Siratam Mustaqim. That's what the purpose is. In Surah Maryam, this is mentioned. Maryam is 19th Surah of Quran. Verse number 36. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ رَبِّي وَرَبَّكُمْ فَاعْبُدُوا هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. And in Surah Nahl, 16th Surah of Quran, verse number 121. وَهَذَا وهدى إلى صراط مستقيم. So Hajj 15, Surah of Quran, verse number 41. هذا صراط مستقيم. This verse has the word Ali there. Google that and you'll feel good. And some of the people, because the word Ali is there, they refer to what you know. Okay. Verse number 41. قال هذا صراط. Remember, the Arab were not there earlier. Arabs have been put later on. Okay. إن هذا الصراط علي. Okay. Mustaqim, of course. That's Surah Hajj 15, Surah of Quran, verse number 41.
So when you come to Quran understanding, it's important that you get the word from mafhum, because this is when it starts. Okay, right?
Sometimes people just argue with the words.
Right.
Okay, and in that argument, you may gain some points, but what is the intent of Quran? Okay. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, okay, many times it's lost. Okay. But yes, this is one of the verses that you can use. When we say Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim that I said earlier, okay, keep us on the right path, okay, or guide us to the right path, whatever the translation for it. That right path extends from where to where? Okay. A person who says La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah has taken the first step towards right path. Okay. A person who after Islam becomes a Mu'min by practicing what the Prophet has preached has reached another stage of that right path. A person who becomes Muttaqi after Mu'min has reached another stage of right path. A person who becomes Shaheed, that his Iman, his faith is at the level where he can give his life and whatever he has for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is Shaheed. Okay. And that journey sometimes takes just an instant and not more. You see in the case of Hur. Okay. Hur was a Muslim. His past is not that glorious as far as taqwa is concerned. Okay. But at one instant, where he clearly saw what is right and what is wrong, and was willing to give his life for it, made him Shaheed. Okay. We should not make comparisons, but Habib bin Mazahir is different. Okay. From day one, he is on the right path. He is Mu'min, he is Muttaqi, and he is Faqih. The letter that Imam Hussain wrote to him addresses him Rajulun Faqih. For the Imam of the time to address someone as Faqih is unheard of. So of course he is willing for Shahad, no doubt about it, because he has reached that exalted stage of guidance, okay, where he knows that completely. Sometimes we know it, but we are not practicing it. Okay? That life and everything else belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that the best course of the life is to be spent in accordance with the divine dictates. Okay? So there's no comparison as far as comparisons. Don't compare, but there's no comparison. Habib is Habib. Okay. And Hur is Hur. Okay. Okay. There's a distinction there. Okay. So Habib has a life history full of submission and surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Hur is different. But at one instant, that's what I'm trying to say, that one instance can change a person. So please, never think anyone to be inferior. You don't know what may strike at a particular moment, and a person would completely change. From a person who had stopped Hussein alayhi salam from going to Kufa. Just imagine for a moment that Hussein, suppose he reached Kufa. Would the history be the same? No. Such a grave error on his part. Okay. And that one instant opened his eye. That tells us something else also. That guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ever present. There is not a single moment in existence that His guidance is not there. Okay. तजल्ली हर वक्त है. ये क्या उस तजल्ली को हम महसूस करते हैं? Divine life is ever present. Okay. Is it reflected in ourselves? Okay. That's what the key point is. Okay. And if we feel that reflection, okay, then we're going to move to Sirat al-Mustaqim higher. Okay. So that's Shaheed. A person, who has given up everything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why we are told that even in paradise, there's going to be a special area, okay, for shuhada, where no one else will go. And that blessing would only be reserved for those who have been martyred in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So the exalted guidance comes when you are willing to sacrifice everything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your intent is there. If that is not fulfilled because of circumstances, that's Allah knows the intentions. That's why we are told that those who have the intention that they will join the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam when the occultation is over and when it comes time, would be brought back from the graves. ये दुआ अहद जो आप पढ़ते हैं, they will be brought back from the graves to join them. So, if the circumstances for sacrifice are not present in your life, okay, it's still that strong intention must be there, that whenever the opportunity comes, okay, everything else will be secondary or tertiary, okay, that call would be primary, okay, and that will be willing to get it. That is Sirat al-Mustaqim, okay, exalted guidance, okay. As I said earlier, to be a part of that, you have to be just, and you have to return the trust. Look at her. Okay. In that night, he realized that he was unjust when he stopped Hussein. Okay. He was unjust. And that he is singularly responsible for what is today's situation against Hussein by cornering him in Karbala. Okay. It was unjust. Okay. Now, how to go about it? Well, go to Hussein. Okay. Seek forgiveness from him. How is it possible? Well, you will have to leave the comfort of that army that you are in and go to Hussein. Okay. And tuddul amanat ila ahliha. The leadership of the Muslim Ummah is the amana that Hussein has, that belongs to Hussein, and that is being usurped by Bani Umayyah. It should be reverted back to him, but you would not be able to. So, get yourself killed in the way, so that at least you become a shaheed. So when Hur comes to Hussein, he pleads his guilt, and Hussein forgives him. Okay. He asks Hussein to be allowed to go and fight. Imam is reluctant. Okay. You are our guest. From an oppressor and enemy, Hussein has made her the guest. Who can ever comprehend the greatness of Hussein alayhi salam? You could have said to, okay, you did what you did, go. I don't want to see you again. And he would be right doing it, isn't it? Because Hussein has the right to accept anyone in his army. You know, you are the one responsible for what's happening today. Inna Allaha ya'muru bil adli wal ihsan. This is the ihsan. All these verses are connected. Okay. And the truth is that there cannot be a better tafsir of Quran in the practical form than the Masumin alayhi salatu wassalam, the prophets and the Imam alayhi. We can give long lectures, okay? Many sessions, many hours. Okay. But if you want to see it practically performed, you will have to look at the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ and the Imam ﷺ. Okay. Next lecture will be the last in the system of Hidayah. Okay. And then we'll have a break in the month of Ramadan. Okay. And when we proceed, we'll go with the history of the prophets. Okay. I have talked about prophets earlier, about their qualities, but this is going to be about their lives, okay? How they relate the message. Okay? And the most emphasis would be, of course, on our Prophet ﷺ, which also plural as Mambiya, okay, and then the Imam alayhi salam. Okay. And at that end, okay, inshallah, the course would be complete. Okay. I hope I have been able to deliver, okay, things that I intended. Okay. Sometimes, my words fall short because English is not my first language. Okay, but I try. Okay. Any questions? You're welcome. Okay. Mm-hmm.
First one was accepting the faith, the second was for higher level of perfection. Then there was accepting the faith, the second was establishing